We're on the gravel path today. We've had a big rain and we might be able to see something interesting because the stream here is way up. The question of the day is, should you discriminate in hiring against smokers? And here's this is why I'm interested in this from a quality system standpoint. The reality of it is that there's a written work instruction on every package of that material. And it basically says, there's some weasel words of course, but it says it may harm your health, it may hurt your unborn, whatever, and they've gotten to the point where it says it's definitely addictive. And so if you are the person who ignores a written work instruction like that, should a manufacturing hiring authority hire you? Now the question itself has evolved, of course, over a period of time. When I was first started in my work life, working in a giant factory with factory lights, or flashing lights rather, it was common. They would frown on you smoking at your actual workstation, although you were allowed to do it in the break area and all that kind of place. In the office I worked in, there were probably 15 people, and of the 15, probably 10 of them were smokers. And a lot of these people had been ex-military and they had been around for a long time, and that was just what they did. In the second office I worked in, it was probably 50-50-ish in the plant itself, but in the office itself it was more like 90-10. Me and about 2 other people in a 20-person work group were the non-smokers in it. At about the time they did away with smoking on airplanes, it also started to die out in the workplace. And in the last couple of jobs I had, it was considered a thing not to do in the office, although certain people, if they were important enough, quote unquote, whatever that means, they just basically looked the other way because they chose not to fight the fight. But that was in the day. I keep thinking of the funny Dilbert comic that had the ear-garettes, where the smokers got a 15-minute break every couple of hours and to go out in the parking lot and gossip with one another. And Dilbert reasoned that he should get one too, but he didn't smoke, so he stuck one in his ear, which is kind of funny. And so that kind of leads us to the current day. Most of the places I go in have written smoking policies, and they have areas very often outside the limits of the, let's look and see if the beaver dam survives. There it is. It's still kind of hanging in there. Water's high though. Most of the places I have actually have written smoking policies. A lot of them have done away with the smoking areas except for off of company property. That still raises the question of, if someone is asking for a job in your place, should you discriminate against them because they smoke? I guess you have to answer a couple of questions. First of all, how do you tell for sure? As opposed to living with someone who smokes, because you just smell like that. And the other question is, do you feel comfortable in asking them, and if that's important to you? And there are further questions over and above this, which is, should you hire the obese? Should you hire the chronically angry? Should you hire somebody with a personality disorder? And those questions are off the table at the moment, because they're out of my scope. The scope in the immediate short term is, should you hire somebody that ignores a written work instruction of potential lethality? Now there are a couple of other side effects. One is, those people are known to have higher incidence of medical expenses. And the other thing is, they're known to have addictive tendencies, and addiction, part of that, sometimes that works for you in the workplace, but sometimes it works against you. So leaving aside that for the moment, That's the big question. I would love for participants in this to leave comments down below to the effect of what you think, because I'm kind of curious about the way things are right now in the workplace. Alright, this about takes care of it, except for the push-ups. We'll talk to you in a minute.